The Helios dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Orion Arm, its sensors spreading an invisible net across the star-studded void. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood on the bridge of humanity's first deep space exploration vessel, her dark eyes reflecting the holographic displays that surrounded her command station. 6 months of pushing the boundaries of known space had led to this moment, strange energy signatures that defied explanation. "Contact," Lieutenant Sarah Wong called from her sensor station. 2 distinct vessel classes detected. One appears to be a merchant ship configuration, the other. She paused, her fingers dancing across her console. The other is definitely military. They're engaged in combat. Maya watched as the tactical display resolved, showing a sleek vessel with organic curves being pursued by 3 angular warships that gleamed like polished obsidian. Energy weapons lanced between them, lighting up the void. The merchant vessel is broadcasting some kind of distress signal, Communications Officer James Chen reported. "It's not any format we recognize, but the intent is clear. They're asking for help." Maya felt the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. First contact with not one but 2 alien species, and they'd stumbled into the middle of a firefight. Everything humanity had theorized about galactic civilizations was about to be tested. "Full scan of both vessel types," she ordered. "I want to know what we're dealing with before we make any decisions." The merchant ship's engines flared as it attempted another evasive maneuver, but Maya could see it was losing power. The attacking vessels were herding it toward a nearby asteroid field, probably to disable it without destroying whatever cargo it carried. "Merchant vessel's shield technology is unlike anything in our database," Chief Engineer David Patel reported. "But it's failing. Those military ships are using some kind of targeted electromagnetic pulse to disrupt their systems." "Clever tactics, actually." Maya nodded. The attackers weren't trying to destroy their prey, they wanted to capture it. That suggested rules of engagement, civilization rather than mere piracy. "What about our capabilities compared to theirs?" "Their tech base is more advanced," David replied, "but not insurmountably so. Their weapons are energy-based, shields operating on principles we've theorized but haven't mastered. But their tactics." He grinned. "They're predictable. Military doctrine that hasn't been challenged in a long time, I'd guess." Maya watched as another burst of weapons fire caught the merchant vessel's stern. Its shields flickered and died. "They're broadcasting surrender," James announced. "The merchant ship, I mean. There." His eyes widened. "Captain, they're broadcasting in multiple formats now, including basic radio. They're trying everything to communicate." "Wait." He turned to Maya, his face pale. "They're using English. They just learned it from our communications emissions. Put it through." A melodious voice filled the bridge, tinged with desperation. "Unknown vessel, we are the Artai, peaceful traders. Our pursuers are the Kroth-Ir Dominion. They will enslave us, steal our technology, and use it to subjugate others. We beg assistance, but we warn you, to help us is to earn their enmity forever. The choice must be yours." Maya looked at her crew, seeing the same determination in their eyes that she felt. Humanity had dreamed of reaching the stars, of joining a galactic community. But they'd never imagined their first step would require them to choose between safe anonymity and standing up for what they believed was right. "Battle stations," she ordered. "Tactical, analyze their attack patterns. Engineering, I want solutions, not problems. Communications, inform Earth Command of our situation, but make it clear we're engaging." She stood, straightening her uniform. The Kroth-Ir Dominion is about to learn that humanity doesn't stand by while the strong prey on the weak. The Helios's engines flared to life, driving the ship toward the conflict. As Maya watched her crew prepare for humanity's first interstellar battle, she realized that this moment would change everything. Win or lose, humanity had just announced its presence on the galactic stage. And they had chosen to do so not with diplomatic niceties or careful negotiations, but by demonstrating exactly what humans did best, standing up against overwhelming odds to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. Multiple targeting locks, Sarah reported. The Croth-IR ships are breaking off their attack on the merchant vessel. They're turning to face us. Good, Maya replied, a grim smile forming on her face. Let's show them something they've never seen before. Tactical, implement Battle Plan Delta. Let's introduce them to humanity's way of war. The Helios accelerated toward the enemy ships, its innovative point defense systems coming online. Humanity might be new to the galactic stage, but they had spent centuries perfecting the art of warfare. The Croth-IR were about to discover that technological superiority wasn't everything. Sometimes, innovation and sheer determination could change the course of battle. And in the void between the stars, humanity's first interstellar war was about to begin. The Croth-IR commander's first indication that they had gravely miscalculated came when the human vessel's point defense system activated. Instead of the expected energy shields, clouds of metallic particles erupted from the Helios, forming complex geometric patterns in space. Primitive projectile weaponry, Sub-Commander Vexthar sneered, watching the tactical display. These humans think to challenge us with dust and debris? The answer came as their first energy blast struck the cloud. Instead of burning through, the beam scattered, split into thousands of harmless fragments by the precisely arranged metallic particles. The humans had turned simple physics into an effective defense against advanced energy weapons. Impossible, Vexthar hissed. No species at their development level should be able to calculate particle dispersal patterns that complex in real time. On the Helios's bridge, Maya watched the enemy's confusion with satisfaction. Status of the ARTI vessel. They're moving clear of the combat zone, Sarah reported. Their engines are damaged but functional. The Croth-IR seem completely focused on us now. Good. Time to show them Phase 2. Engineering, initiate the resonance pulse. David's fingers flew across his console. Resonance pulse charging. Captain, we're still not sure how their shields will react to this. It's all theoretical. Theory's about to become practice, Maya replied. Execute. The Helios's experimental weapons system came online, broadcasting precisely calculated electromagnetic frequencies. It wasn't designed to overpower the enemy's shields, instead, it would use their own shield harmonics against them. On the Croth-IR vessels, alarms began blaring. Their shield generators, subjected to frequencies that matched and amplified their own operational patterns, began to overload. It was like pushing a swing at exactly the right moment to make it go higher and higher until the chains couldn't handle the stress. Their shields are destabilizing, Sarah reported with barely contained excitement. The resonance effect is working better than simulations predicted. They're having to divert significant power to compensate. Maya nodded. Launch the drones. Dozens of small, unmanned vessels deployed from the Helios's launch bays. Unlike traditional combat drones, these were essentially guided electromagnetic pulse generators. Individually, they posed little threat. But working in concert, coordinated by the Helios's advanced battle AI. Drone swarm achieving attack formation, Tactical Officer Lu Wei announced. Enemy vessels attempting to target them, but the dispersal pattern is too complex. The drones wove between enemy energy beams in an intricate dance, each near miss providing data that the AI used to improve their evasion patterns. Then they reached their designated positions and activated. Multiple electromagnetic pulses detonated in a carefully orchestrated sequence, each one precisely timed to coincide with the fluctuations in the Croth-IR shields caused by the resonance pulse. Where one attack might have been deflected, the combination proved devastating. Systems across the Croth-IR vessels began failing as the pulses penetrated their weakened defenses. Not enough to cripple them completely, but more than sufficient to demonstrate humanity's capabilities. Enemy vessels are falling back, Sarah reported. They're maintaining weapons lock but, wait. She looked up from her console. They're hailing us. Maya straightened in her command chair. Put them through. The holographic display showed a tall, reptilian figure in an ornate uniform. Its scales shifted colors as it spoke, displaying what Maya assumed were emotional indicators. Unknown vessel, you have interfered in Croth-IR Dominion operations and demonstrated hostile intent. Identify yourselves. This is Captain Maya Rodriguez of the Earth ship Helios. We responded to a distress call from a peaceful vessel that you were attacking without provocation. The real hostile intent came from your forces. The Croth-IR commander's scales flushed a deep purple. You defend those you do not know against those whose power you cannot comprehend. The ARTI are criminals against the Dominion. Their crime is possessing technology beyond their permitted development level. On Earth, we have a saying, Maya replied. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. We've demonstrated that while your technology might be more advanced, humanity is far from helpless. You can either withdraw and open diplomatic channels, or we can continue this demonstration. The commander's scales shifted through several colors before settling on a muted blue. You are either very brave or very foolish, human. But you have fought with unexpected effectiveness. We will withdraw, for now. But know this, the Croth-IR Dominion does not forget, and we do not forgive. You have made a powerful enemy this day. As the transmission ended and the Croth-IR ships retreated into hyperspace, Maya turned to her crew. Send a message to the ARTI vessel. Tell them we'd like to talk. And get me a secure channel to Earth Command. She smiled grimly. They're going to want to hear about this, and we need to prepare. The Croth-IR won't stay away for long, and next time they won't underestimate us. The bridge crew nodded, their expressions determined. They had just fought humanity's first interstellar battle, using ingenuity and unconventional tactics to overcome superior technology. But they all knew this was just the beginning. The real war was yet to come. 6 months after humanity's first interstellar battle, the Ganymede research station hummed with activity. What had once been a small outpost for deep space studies had transformed into humanity's primary reverse engineering facility. Dr. Elena Santos stood before a holographic display of a Croth-IR shield generator, salvaged from debris after the Helios encounter. The principle is elegant, she explained to the assembled team of engineers and scientists. But it's also their weakness. They've optimized their technology so much that it's become inflexible. They can't imagine doing things any other way. Behind her, an ARTI engineer named Venare nodded in agreement. After the battle, the traitors had become humanity's first alien allies, sharing their knowledge while seeking refuge in the Sol system. The Dominion has used the same technological base for millennia. Innovation is seen as dangerous, unpredictable. Elena manipulated the hologram, highlighting specific components. We don't need to match their technology exactly. We just need to understand the principles and apply them our way. Look here. Their shield harmonics are perfect, mathematically precise. That's why our resonance weapon worked so well. They never considered that imperfection could be an advantage. In another section of the station, Dr. James Chen was leading a team working on weapons development. Their lab contained a mixture of human and ARTI technology, creating hybrid systems that neither species would have developed alone. The Croth-IR rely on pure energy weapons, James explained to a visiting military officer. Efficient, powerful, but predictable. We're developing systems that combine kinetic and energy principles. He gestured to a prototype mounted on the wall. Imagine a rail gun that accelerates plasma instead of solid projectiles. The magnetic containment field collapses on impact, creating both kinetic and energy damage. They won't expect that. Throughout the station, similar scenes played out. Humanity's greatest minds worked alongside their ARTI allies, combining their different approaches to create something new. The AR-TIE brought their advanced theoretical knowledge, while humans contributed their talent for practical innovation and unconventional thinking. In her private lab, Elena reviewed the latest test results from their shield development program. Unlike the Croth-IR's rigid energy barriers, the human shields would be adaptive, constantly changing frequencies and patterns. Less efficient perhaps, but far harder to counter. Dr. Santos, her AI assistant announced, "You have a priority message from Earth Command." The holographic display shifted to show Admiral Chen, the newly appointed head of Earth's defense forces. "Doctor, how close are we to implementation?" "The first wave of upgrades will be ready within 2 weeks," Elena replied. "We're not matching their technology directly, we're developing countermeasures and alternatives. The AR-TIE have been invaluable. Their understanding of theoretical principles helped us skip decades of research." "Good, because our intelligence suggests we don't have much time. The Croth-IR are mobilizing. They're not just sending a punitive expedition, they're preparing for a full-scale invasion. They see us as a threat to their technological dominance." Elena nodded grimly. "They should. We're not just copying their technology, we're improving it, adapting it, combining it with approaches they've never considered. Every system they've optimized into rigid perfection, we're making flexible and unpredictable." "How are the AR-TIE handling the cooperation?" "They're fascinated by our approach. Their society values stability and tradition, but they're starting to see the advantages of our methods. Some of their younger engineers are already suggesting modifications to their own systems based on our hybrid designs." The Admiral's expression remained serious. "The Croth-IR won't expect us to have advanced this far, this quickly. But don't get overconfident. They've dominated their sector of space for thousands of years. They won't go down easily." "With respect, Admiral," Elena replied, "that's their weakness. They've been unopposed for so long that they've forgotten how to adapt. Every victory reinforced their belief in their technological superiority. But humanity?" She smiled. "We're too young to know what's impossible, so we try anyway. And sometimes, we succeed." As if to emphasize her point, alarms began blaring in a nearby testing chamber. Elena quickly checked the readings and laughed. "Speaking of succeeding, we just managed to create a stable plasma containment field using modified AR-TIE principles combined with our magnetic bottle technology. The team said it couldn't be done." "Excuse me, Admiral, I need to document this." After the transmission ended, Elena returned to her work with renewed determination. The Croth-IR were coming, yes, but they would find a humanity armed with more than just advanced technology. They would face an enemy that could take their own weapons and turn them into something new, something unexpected. The real question wasn't whether humanity could match Croth-IR technology, it was whether the Croth-IR could adapt to humanity's innovations before it was too late. The massive shipyard complex stretching across Earth's L5 Lagrange point had been a civilian manufacturing facility just 8 months ago, producing communication satellites and research vessels. Now it produced warships. Director Sarah Chen watched from her office as robotic assemblers swarmed over the nearly completed hull of the EDF Defiant, humanity's first purpose-built warship incorporating both human innovation and AR-TIE technology. Production efficiency has increased by another 12%, her AI assistant reported. The modular construction techniques adapted from commercial shipping are proving more effective than projected. Sarah nodded, reviewing the holographic production schedules floating before her. When the Croth-IR threat became clear, humanity hadn't just modified their existing shipyards, they'd completely reimagined how ships could be built. Status of the automated manufacturing lines. Operating at 140% of designed capacity. The AI-optimized production flows are exceeding all benchmarks. We're completing a destroyer-class vessel every 72 hours. A message notification flashed across her display. Priority communication from Luna Base Industrial Complex. The holographic image of Dr. Marcus Wong, her counterpart overseeing lunar production, appeared. Sarah, you need to see this. The new automated mining systems just came online. We're extracting and processing resources at rates that. He shook his head in amazement. The HFY engineers are stunned. They've never seen anything like our industrial automation systems. The HFY won't expect it either, Sarah replied. Their production is artisanal by comparison, each ship crafted over months or years. They can't comprehend industrial-scale manufacturing. Speaking of which, Marcus grinned, wait until you see what's coming out of the Mars factories. Those hybrid plasmakinetic weapons you designed. We've streamlined the production process. Instead of 1 weapon per day, we're producing 20. Sarah turned to watch another massive hull plate being maneuvered into position on the Defiant. Unlike the elegant, carefully crafted vessels of the HFY, human warships were modular, practical, and could be produced rapidly. They weren't beautiful, but they were effective. Director Chen, her AI interrupted, incoming transmission from Fleet Command. Admiral Rodriguez requests an update on production schedules. The Admiral's hologram appeared moments later. Sarah, tell me some good news. Our long-range sensors just detected a massive HFY fleet assembling at the edge of their territory. Sarah manipulated her displays, bringing up the latest production figures. The first wave of the defense fleet will be ready in 2 weeks. 30 destroyer-class vessels, 10 cruisers, and the Defiant as our first battleship. All equipped with our hybrid technology systems. The HFY fleet is 5 times that size. But they're not expecting what we've built, Sarah countered. Their intelligence is months old. They think they're facing a primitive species struggling to adapt their technology. Instead, they'll face ships specifically designed to counter their tactics, produced in numbers they can't imagine. She gestured to another display showing global production figures. Every major manufacturing center on Earth has been retooled. Civilian factories are producing military components alongside their regular products. We've even got automotive plants producing armor plating and electronics facilities manufacturing targeting systems. And the HFY contributions? Their theoretical knowledge combined with our manufacturing capabilities. Sarah smiled. We're not just copying their technology anymore. We're improving it, making it faster and cheaper to produce. The HFY engineers are already talking about implementing our manufacturing methods in their own systems. A notification flashed across her display, another production milestone achieved. The lunar mines were now operating at full capacity, feeding raw materials to factories across the solar system. Automated manufacturing lines worked around the clock, turning those materials into weapons and ships. There's something else, Sarah added. Something the HFY would never expect. Show him, Marcus. Marcus manipulated his controls, and a new hologram appeared, schematics for what looked like massive construction platforms. Mobile shipyards, he explained. Based on modified civilian space station designs. Once the battle starts, we won't just be fighting, we'll be building and repairing ships in the combat zone. The yards can be assembled quickly using standard components, and they're armed and shielded. The Admiral studied the designs, his expression shifting from concern to cautious optimism. They'll expect us to fight like they do, sending out our fleet and hoping it's enough. Instead, we'll fight like humans, Sarah finished. Adapting, building, improving even as we fight. The HFY spent thousands of years perfecting their military doctrine. We spent those same thousands of years perfecting our ability to build things quickly and efficiently. As if to emphasize her point, a massive engine assembly moved past her window, guided by precision robotic arms toward its waiting hull. In shipyards across the solar system, similar scenes played out, humanity's industrial might awakening to meet the greatest threat they'd ever faced. The HFY were coming with a fleet built over years of careful crafting. They would face an enemy that could replace their losses faster than they could inflict them, armed with weapons that challenged everything they thought they knew about warfare. The real battle wouldn't just be ship against ship, it would be humanity's industrial innovation against Croth-IR tradition. And humanity had no intention of losing. The massive Croth-IR fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, their sleek warships arranged in perfect geometric formations. Supreme Commander Vexthar stood on his command deck, scales gleaming with confidence as he surveyed the tactical display. 300 of the Dominion's finest vessels, each one a masterpiece of engineering perfected over millennia. The human defenses appeared pathetically inadequate by comparison. A scattered collection of crude-looking vessels, showing none of the elegant design philosophy the Croth-IR valued. Vexthar's scales rippled with amusement. These upstarts would learn their place in the galactic hierarchy. Enemy fleet holding position near their third planet, his tactical officer reported. They appear to be building something. Vexthar's amusement turned to confusion as he studied the sensor readings. Massive structures were taking shape behind the human battle line, assembled from prefabricated components with impossible speed. Mobile shipyards, he realized with shock. They meant to continue production during the battle itself. Launch the first attack wave, he ordered. Show these primitives the futility of resistance. The Croth-IR vessels moved forward in perfect formation, energy weapons charging. They expected the humans to break formation, to scatter before their superior firepower. Instead, the human fleet held position, and something unexpected happened. Clouds of metallic particles erupted from the human ships, forming complex, ever-changing patterns in space. The first Croth-IR energy barrages scattered harmlessly, disrupted by the simple yet effective defense. Then the humans counterattacked. Hybrid plasmakinetic weapons fired, their projectiles weaving through the Croth-IR formation's predictable gaps. Where energy shields would have deflected pure energy weapons, these hybrid attacks struck with devastating effect. Ships built over years of careful crafting began falling to weapons that combined primitive kinetic force with advanced plasma technology in ways the Croth-IR had never considered. Impossible, Vexthar hissed as the tactical display updated. Their weapons, their tactics, this isn't how battles are fought. On the bridge of the EDF Defiant, Admiral Maya Rodriguez watched the Croth-IR formation begin to break down. They're trying to adapt, she observed, but their command structure is too rigid. Launch the drone swarms. Thousands of automated drones deployed from the human fleet and the mobile shipyards, their patterns random yet coordinated by advanced AI systems. Each drone carried a miniaturized version of the resonance pulse weapon that had proved so effective in their first encounter. But now, instead of a single pulse, the swarm created a web of overlapping fields that played havoc with the Croth-IR's perfectly tuned shield harmonics. Their flagship is signaling, communications reported. They're demanding our surrender. Maya smiled grimly. Show them our response. Behind the human battle line, the mobile shipyards triggered their jump drives, another innovation combining human and AR-TIE technology. They appeared at strategic points throughout the battlefield, their automated manufacturing systems already producing replacement drones and repair components. New contacts. Tactical announced. Croth-IR reinforcements arriving, but something's wrong with their formations. Maya nodded in satisfaction. While the Croth-IR had gathered their fleet, human intelligence vessels had seeded their territory with specialized probe drones. The data gathered had allowed Earth's AIs to predict exactly where and how their reinforcements would arrive. The battlefield had been prepared accordingly. The next hours became a lesson in the difference between perfection and adaptability. The Croth-IR fought with flawless precision, each ship and weapon operating at peak efficiency. But the humans fought with constant innovation, their tactics shifting unpredictably, their mobile shipyards keeping their fleet supplied and repaired even as they fought. Finally, after watching another perfect formation shattered by unexpected human innovations, Supreme Commander Vexthar made an unprecedented decision. Signal the human flagship, he ordered. Request parley. When the transmission connected, he found himself facing not just the human admiral, but also representatives of the ARTI and, surprisingly, several younger members of his own species. "Your tactics are unorthodox," he acknowledged, his scales shifting to show respect. "Your technology crude but effective. But most disturbing is what we've just learned from our own colony worlds. While we gathered our fleet, your merchant vessels were trading with our people, showing them new ways of thinking, new methods of production. Some of our own worlds are already adopting your manufacturing techniques." "We're not interested in destroying the Dominion," Maya replied. "But the galaxy is changing. The old ways of technological stagnation and rigid hierarchy can't continue. Humanity is willing to share our innovations, our manufacturing methods, our way of thinking. The choice is yours, adapt or be left behind." Vexthar's scales shifted through multiple colors as he considered. The decision went against millennia of tradition, but he had seen enough to know that tradition alone would not win this war. Perhaps it is time for the Dominion to learn new ways. "What are your terms?" The peace conference that followed would reshape galactic society. The Kroth-Ir Dominion remained powerful, but now as part of a larger community where innovation was valued alongside tradition. Human manufacturing techniques spread rapidly, while Kroth-Ir and ARTI theoretical knowledge helped accelerate human development. And in the shipyards of Earth, where the first human warships had been built in desperate haste, a new class of vessel took shape. Not warships this time, but exploration ships, designed to push further into the galaxy. Because humanity had learned that their greatest strength wasn't just their ability to fight, but their capacity to adapt, to build, and to change the very rules of the game. The stars had never seemed more inviting.